Hey guys, Bad Infos here, and these are my 10 favorite characters in Grand Theft San Andreas. This game has some of the best characters in the franchise, and the people you come into contact with are many. That's why making this list was not an easy task. I will not include the protagonist Carl Johnson here, because I'll make a separate 10 best protagonist list in the future. Anyone else is allowed a spot. Let's see who I picked, and I would love to see who you chose as your favorite as well. So, without further ado, here are my 10 favorite characters in GTA San Andreas. Number 10 goes to OG Loke. Quite surprising considering the fact that many times in my videos you have heard me complain about his voice, the way he speaks, how loud he is, and generally his annoying personality. Well, the thing is, he's all of those things, but in a good way. He's annoyingly awesome. He's unique, quite different to many other NPCs. Nobody else is trying to be a tough gangster boy in the game. I mean, look at Ryder and then back at OG Loke. Ryder has the look, the voice and mannerism of a true OG. But Loke looks just like I did as a teenager. I also wore baggy clothes, using the N-word like it's nobody's business, talking about guns, hoes and rap. So in a way, I see part of me in Geoffrey. That's why despite him being annoying, I appreciate him being in the game.
Well, that's me, homie. That's me. OG Loke, baby. Yeah, for sure.
Number 9 is Ken Rosenberg, the same Ken who had a much bigger role in Vice City. He took the number 5 spot in the top 10 characters video of that game, but still, number 9 here is not that bad. You can see how much he has aged throughout the years. He has changed. Well, he's still a nervous wreck, fearing anyone and anything he sees, but now he's a coke addict. He went into rehab, but that didn't help him much. He now lives on the edge and could lose his life at any given moment. It clearly shows that with the lack of Tommy by his side, he's a nobody and is lost in a city full of criminals. Not a big improvement as a character. I like him much more in Vice City, but he is still a valuable companion and a good friend in San Andreas.
Calm. Yeah, calm. I'm calm. Real fucking calm. I'm calm, Mr. Calm, Mr. Calm. That's me, Mr. Calm.
Number 8 goes to Miker, the weird Brit who can't stop giving himself a little bit, as CJ says. He spanks the monkey, he burps the worm, takes Pamela out, consults Professor Hank's jerk-off. In short, he masturbates at any time, any place, while thinking and looking at anything. Reminds me of myself when I was 14. Anyway, who is Miker? There's not much we know, honestly. He's in a band and he masturbates a lot. That's all his character is known for. He's definitely not developed fully. We don't know where he grew up, what he does in his free time. Well, we kinda know. You can't hide from us, Mackie boy. The cool thing is that he's not even trying to hide his habits. I can't even imagine him in a suit, at a desk job, working 8 hours a day. I don't think that anyone would hire him. That's why his role in San Andreas is perfect. He just stays in the background, helping ease the tension and takes away from the seriousness some other characters bring.
I was wanking over some fat bird's tits when this twat turned up.
Number 7 is Caesar Villalpando. We started the video light, with 2 very funny and inappropriate characters. Caesar is not like that. He's one of the more serious ones out there. Caesar is a leader, a visionary, a guy who cares a lot about his gang, his family and his loved ones. He would risk his own life for people who he cares most about. He helps CJ with no hesitation. He saves his life multiple times, helps out in his garage, helps out the Grove, his sister, brother, and in a way the 2 stooges, Ryder and Smoke. all because he is trustworthy and has a good heart. He cracks a joke here and there, the police chase in one of the wank car's missions being the most noteworthy here. He went completely off character here, cracking jokes, making threats to the cops, also being very reckless. It was a nice change, honestly. While I love his serious tone most of the time, and sometimes an angry one, I love his goofy side as well.
You'd have to ram her off the road in order to get a chance to get her car, and you know a wrecked car is no good to us! I swear she's playing with me!
Number 6 goes to Frank Tenpenny, one of the best antagonists out there. He is not a guy you can easily mess with. He has many connections and has a leading role as an officer. One false move, well, even if he didn't do anything wrong, he can put some dirt on you and get you locked up for good. Frank is evil, and I mean truly evil. Other antagonists want money and only that, with a little bit of weed and coke on the side. Tenpenny feels like a guy who wants to watch people suffer. He's not in it for the money, he likes killing, corruption and likes to get laid, apparently. Even Pulaski, a trusty ally, had the same fate. No respect, bossing him around. And when things get tough, Frank just forgets about the people who help him out. He sells his role perfectly, and no wonder. I mean, look who voices him. Good on you, man, you made Frank that more special.
Oh, how you like that, you piece of shit? That give you any idea how edgy I am?
Number 5 goes to the crazy spacehead The Truth. We had OG Loke, Macker, and now another lunatic on the list. He may even be the weirdest one here. First of all, he's a hippie. That's enough to raise your suspicion. Just ask Trevor. Being one, he smokes big time. He has tons of the stuff just growing behind his shack. He apparently can teleport on top of planes. I guess nobody thought of that before, but how the hell does he get up there? There's no staircase. Well, no wonder he gets teleported all over the place, even to the North Pole, since he woke up next to some polar bears at some point. And why is that? The weed. He constantly smokes that stuff even though you never see him do it. No wonder he's such a spacehead. His head is always in the clouds. Weirdly enough, a lot of the stuff he says makes a little bit of sense, and when you listen to him closely you can see where he's coming from. But overall he's a goofy character and you can completely trust him. As much as you can trust a hippie, honestly.
Is that what our founding fathers wanted? No more, friend. No more. We're not alone. Get off me, man!
Number 4 goes to none other than the weed addict Ryder. Oh, we reached the part of the list where it gets really hard numbering the characters. Ryder could easily be in the number 1 spot, and that applies to all the other ones you'll see later. You almost never see Ryder without a bong in his mouth. He smokes that stuff day and night. No wonder he can't get anything done. He lets me drive, and he's very forgetful, like when he misplaced his water and dug out his entire garden looking for it. He's manipulated by Tenpenny, but that I guess applies to everyone. He gave away his precious water of all things. That must have hurt a lot. Ryder is kind of a scumbag, talking crap about CJ's driving, mocking him, working for the enemy, and all sorts of other things. That, however, didn't make me hate him, but quite the opposite. I love him to bits, even more than Tenpenny, who is also a scumbag. I love how he looks, stands, walks and talks. He's a true gangster, not like that fake-ass Sloke OG or whatever his stupid name is.
I am the real deal, fool. Oh shit. A genius.
And now it's down to the final 3. Number 3 goes to the fat boy, the pork chops, to the Mr. 9 Large with extra dip. I'm talking about the icon of San Andreas, the big boy himself, Big Flippin' Smoke. When you think about San Andreas, the first thing that pops into your brain immediately is Big Smoke. He's not as goofy as some other guys on the list, but he definitely deserves this place. I mean, my favorite cutscene in the game, if you watched my top 10 cutscene video, is his big order. Why was that my favorite? Because he's in it and orders a bazillion things and manages to eat them all in a matter of minutes, no longer than 10 minutes I guess. He even eats up Ryder's food. He, like many others on the list, is a scumbag, looking for an easy way out. He made a fortress, guarded by hundreds of people, just so he can play his games. Now that I think about it, that's a great idea. I should do the same. Playing games all day, not having to go to work, smoking that whatever he's smoking. Yeah, he has a good life. A drug baron who got to the top on the back of other people who once trusted him. Big Smoke's character has a lot of depth and I love him for it.
Yeah, motherfucker, Big Smoke. Remember that name.
Number 2 goes to the biggest conspiracy theorist who ever lived. No, not Alex Jones, but Mike Torino. The stuff he says, man, while ridiculous, make a great degree of sense. Mike is amazing. He knows how to speak, when to speak, and when to keep his mouth shut. All I'm trying to say is that he has a way with words, which help persuade CJ into doing his dirty work. At first he looks like any other scumbag I mentioned. Untrustworthy, manipulative, and bossy. Well, that all changed with the final cutscene he was in. After all the hard work CJ and I pulled off, we were finally rewarded, completely out of the blue. He paid his debts and helped us out like nobody else could. He's not in it for the money, I don't think. He just wants things done. He infiltrated the syndicate. He got rid of some major players and even made the government scratch their head. Nobody knows who he truly works for and what exactly he does, and I love the mystery about him. The conspiracy theories he talks about are not far off from the truth too. He talks about Hitler, nukes and more. Really interesting stuff. The voice actor cannot be left unmentioned. A fantastic job as well. He's right up there with Tenpenny's voice actor, and dare I say, I like him more.
These idiots have stolen a consignment of landmines and they plan to offload them in the Middle East and cause a little ruckus and everybody goes crazy and have a lot of problems.
And finally, number 1 obviously goes to Woozi Moo, or for short Woozi. There is absolutely no way in hell you could make a top whatever list and not include this guy. Well, unless it's a top 10 worst list, in which case you would suffer my wrath. Woozi is one of my most favorite fictional characters ever in a video game. He's a great talker, a great leader, he can be goofy and stupid as well, but above all, he's a true friend and a great help in the game. There's nobody else I would trust more, not even Sweet, honestly, my brother. If Sweet can't get his own way, he would bitch and moan all day long. He would abandon me just to be in the grove, working on the gang. Woozi is the opposite. He would help me whatever I decide to do with my life, or CJ's life I guess, and I love him for it. Woozi can drive a car and race in it while completely blind. He doesn't carry a stick and can navigate amazingly well. Sure, that would never happen in real life, but it fits greatly with the story and tone of the game. Woozi is a perfect combination of silly and serious. He is both in many cutscenes and I often laugh at his mishaps. Way to go, Woozi, you stole my heart.
And I'm not about to hand over all our profits to some wise guy Italian.
And that's it guys for all the best characters in GTA San Andreas. If you don't agree, let me know which ones you like the most. Subscribe to my channel for more top lists, lists for best cutscenes, best games and whatnot. Thank you so much for watching, I'll see you in the next one.